something 96. You were shook with Reeves and all the ledge. I'm your, what's that? I smell. Let me count my 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, run. Hi, my name is Dirk Cobain. Like a, here I go to the next episode. Ain't no damn this explosive Beast Coast. Yeah. The mother ride or die for my, strictly for my. Survival of the fittest. That's the sound of the police. I'm in deep cover, skirt, lean back. Give me one more chance. They say Jesus walks and the devil wear Prada, but I'm so deaf. God can't tell me nothing. Right this on my death certificate. I gave you power. 21 questions like who? The warning. Watch them flashing like paparazzi. 2 words. Get money. Tonight's the night. Guess who's back on my block? Rather unique. Bucktown. This. On that quiet storm, T-O-N-Y, top of New York, with a pitchfork.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to one of our favorite spots, venerable Soldier Field in Chicago. This was the scene a moment ago as the Bears emerged from their tunnel. Ready for football are they, and ready for football are we, as the Bears get set to match up with Matthew Stafford and the Detroit Lions. The shadow's starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. Danny Amendola on the return. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Now the Notre Dame man, this is Theo Riddick. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Khalil Mack's starting to get a really big-time reputation as a pass rusher, and rightly so. So explosive off the edge getting to the quarterback. But he doesn't neglect his run duties as well. How about that tackle right there? Such a package he has, able to play the run and the pass so well.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
Give me radar. Set. Waiting. Hey. Give me radar.
Just beating the play clock. Stafford. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, 21. Have them back on their heels.
Throwing on third down, Stafford. Looking downfield for Jones. And that is going to be pulled in one-handed. Wow. Touchdown, Detroit. Marvin Jones, 77 yards. And the Lions are going to take a first-quarter lead. Now Matt Prater for the point after. Extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. Here's Prater now set to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Trubisky brings the Bears up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Here's the first carry for Tariq Cohen. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
So you got it? Yeah, that's what I do. What's right? It's our time. It's our time.
Now Trubisky to throw on 2nd. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the... And got his man, complete. And he is able to take this way down into Detroit territory. Trubisky hitting Robinson for a big one, 67 yards. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Now Trubisky on 1st down. Flushed out right. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. From the shotgun is Trubisky. And that is caught. Touchdown, Bears. Allen Robinson hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Bears are an extra point away from tying the football game. Point after, up and good. And we are tied at 7. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. Now Amendola. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
You ready? 180.
Here's Stafford now on 2nd down. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
On 4th down, here's Sam Martin on to kick it away. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And now we won't see a play on 1st down. We're going to get a timeout instead. They'll have 2 Trubisky brings the Bears up 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
4 down, check, 4 down.
They'll start with a give to Cohen, and he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
While we know that the identity of this offense is to throw the ball, they've got to run it every so often, if for no other reason than to tamp down the pass rush. They can't let them just tee off and get to their quarterback.
That's Cordero Patterson hauling it in. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. First connection there of the afternoon for those two, and it's good for a first down. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now Cohen. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber who runs like this early, because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
Now they'll run it with Cohen. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. A nice pickup there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Off the toss, Cohen. He'll get only a couple down to the 44.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Christian Jones, the one who picked it. And the return out shy of midfield to the 46-yard line. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
On the ground, it's Riddick. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield after a gain of about 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
To throw on 2nd down is Stafford. Buying time to his left. Looking downfield for Jones. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Well, you've got a receiver here who's got 1 touchdown already in this first quarter, and they were trying to double his pleasure there, wanting to continue to go to the guys already gotten into the end zone. But good coverage to make sure that this time it fell incomplete.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. From the gun, here's Stafford. And he'll find Galladay. That's complete. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 18 yards on his first catch of the game. It's a first down. Stafford now already over 100 yards passing in this first quarter. It's 1st and 10. They'll hand it off now. Johnson fights through, and now a crease. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
All right, Brand, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
Here with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, as the Lions are in possession of the football. Now whistles and a flag down. Looked like one of the Lions linemen might have moved. The false start hurts him there a bit. Backs him up to 2nd and 9. Stafford now to throw. And this is going to be incomplete. He was trying to get it to his tight end, Michael Roberts, there. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. The Lions on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Out of the gun, Stafford. He goes underneath for Anderson. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. Give him 6 on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down. And Prater's kick is on the money. It's good. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
And things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front 7? As they got closer to their goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
Prater now will send it away following the made field goal. On the return, here's the dangerous Cordero Patterson. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can have as many home games as possible to try to get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. Trubisky hitting Robinson for a big one, 43 yards. So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. They'll run it now out of the gun. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
They run. This is Cohen. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on 2nd down and short. What I like to see.
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Jared Davis. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. That's now his 2nd interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. And the first play of the drive there is incomplete. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll go down for a loss inside his own 5 at the 4. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11.
Hey, 22! Hey, go here! 11-11!
A shotgun snap for Stafford. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. He'll take it at the 42. That'll be a 49-yard punt, 6 yards there on the return. And it'll be a short field for the Bears as they take over 1st and 10. The Bears offense now heading back out onto the field. And 2 interceptions thrown here in this first half. You hear it, no matter the sport, they say the great athletes, they can kind of have a short-term memory, but that's easier said than done.
It is easier said than done, but I played with a guy who threw 2 interceptions in the first quarter of a really big game we were playing.
Johnny Unitas?
And no, not quite of that level and not of that age. But
I was going for the age.
I remember looking over at him, and he was smiling. And I thought, what is he smiling about? It's because he had enough confidence in himself that that was a fluke. And he went out and played pretty well the rest of the day.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down.
Hey. 4 down. Check 3.
They go play action. Trubisky. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down.
And that's their first sack of this game, but how about last week? 6 sacks. Great coverage downfield, which helped that pass rush. They are really working in sync right now.
Let's see what they draw up here. 3rd and long following the sack of Trubisky. Out of the gun, Trubisky. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense, 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will.
And Detroit getting set to go now. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
21. Hey, go here.
On 2nd down, here's Stafford. And that's complete to Jesse James. And down he'll go at the 25. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
10.
From the gun on 3rd down, Stafford. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Danny Trevathan, and his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
And he's going to take this one down to the 25. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. This is Cohen. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
And he's taken down, trying to do a little too much, getting outside of the pocket, and it results in a sack.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been under constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Dancing to his left. And this is incomplete. Allen Robinson, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd down.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Tavon Wilson. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So that is 3 interceptions now in this first half, and you hate to ask the question, but let's be honest, we're thinking about it. Do you need to go in a different direction next year?
Potentially. We know that he's probably not going to be on the Pro Bowl ballot. That's not really his stature here, but he has been their starting quarterback for this game. So they've got to weigh things about who's behind him. Do they think he can snap it back into gear? Maybe change up the play calling to help him out a little bit.
2 minutes to play here in the first half. We're back to Soldier Field following this short break.
White. Set. Lady. Go here. Zebra. Let's go, defense. Let's get up. Hey, tag Christie left.
On second down, Johnson. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
2nd and 1 and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Stafford on first down. Forced out to his left. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
Okay, he's not going to get the first down, but this is still a nice job of buying some time and then running to get to the sideline and get out of bounds and avoid the big hit.
Now a handoff, Johnson, and that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs, but the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Back to throw, Stafford going for the deep ball. This is caught inside the 15. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. A big play there. His 6th touchdown of the season. And the Lions add on to their lead. Here's Prater now set to kick it away. Now it's Patterson. Oh, able to avoid him. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Now the Bears offense ready to take over again. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned they're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you've got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards. Now Trubisky escaping the pressure right. Now he's going to throw it deep to the other side. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Darius Slay with a pick. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. That late in the clock, 2nd quarter, why not just run it a time or two and get it into the locker room?
What you're saying makes absolutely perfect sense. Run it and get out of there. But I'm just wondering if the pressure of today's NFL and the high-powered offenses that you're facing may have forced them into saying, let's try and get some more points.
Here's Stafford. Looking for Amendola, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Danny Trevathan. And a potential turning point as they'll get the football in very good field position late in this first half. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. After the interception, here's Trubisky. They'll roll him out right. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10 now. It's Trubisky. He's going to let this one go deep. And that will be incomplete. 4 ticks left here on the clock. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And he has got it from 55. Well, who needs a halftime? Am I right? Let's resume play. So we have reached halftime with the visiting Lions taking the lead to the break. Now it's Patterson. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. So here's the Bears offense now as they get set to start this 3rd quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. Play action. Now Trubisky. This one left side caught by Patterson. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That goes for a gain of 31.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. This is Cohen on the toss. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. 10 more there and another 1st down.
Well, so much for him being bottled up throughout the day. Finally finds a way to break through and get a really nice gain. The defense had felt great about what they had going. Now they've got to turn their attention to getting it back in that direction. Can they bottle him up again? Because I'd say after that run, confidence is pretty high for him.
They keep it on the ground. This time it's Davis. And he will cross the 30 down to the 29-yard line. Credit the tackle to Darius Slay.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up.
Davis fighting. He loses the football. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 16 yards right off the bat and a 1st down. So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line.
Hey, give me that. I need it. The big shot right there.
They stay on the ground on 1st with Johnson. And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's 3rd down.
My man's getting a little loose with the football there, right? Interception before, almost had one here. He's got to start taking better care of it.
Yeah, really should have been back-to-back drives with interceptions. He's lucky there. And the third down pass falls incomplete.
He has just not had his focus in this game. It's not one drop. It's not two. That's three for this contest.
Yeah, uncharacteristic for any NFL receiver, and he's no exception. This will be fielded at the 17. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the Bears take over. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, had pushed it past the 50-yard line so they felt they were in striking distance, and to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here? They go play action here on first down. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up second down. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that. And thus far, they've been successful.
Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Burton. So they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for third down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. What a difference a week makes. Last week, he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week, he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense has spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
Hey, 18.
They're going on fourth down. It's Trubisky. Finding Gabriel, complete. Touchdown, Chicago. Taylor Gabriel, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Bears are an extra point away from tying the football game. Extra point splits the uprights, and that will level the playing field at 17 all. Nothing separating these two teams on the scoreboard as the kick's away here. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Lions offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
No gain on the play there. Second down.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. Stafford finds Roberts left side. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Throwing is Stafford. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by Danny Trevathan. And to the 43. So down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over. They'll try to get the run game going. Here's Davis. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. A'Shawn Robinson there on the stop. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down.
On second down, here's Trubisky. Over the middle, he gets it to Patterson. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. 23 yards on the play.
18.
On 1st and 10, it's Trubisky. He'll leave it for Cohen, complete. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. It'll be a 2-yard gain, and it'll make it second down. He felt the pressure coming there. That was a good job of just making something out of nothing, so to speak.
Yeah, took the hit and still made the play. You know, when we talk about runners, all right, and on running plays, runs after contact, we call that getting dirty yards, tough, gritty ones. To me, that's like the version of a dirty pass. He knows he's going to get smacked, yet still delivers the football and picks up good yardage.
Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. A field goal would get them the lead, but that's not what they're shooting for as they come up on 3rd down. On 3rd down, Davis. And this play doesn't go anywhere. Backwards, losing yardage to the 11. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
So they put together a good little drive there, but ultimately stalling out in the red zone.
Yeah, I know a lot of people look at it as a little bit of a negative. They didn't get 6 points out of it, right? Didn't get the touchdown. But that's actually okay. They got 3 points, able to give their defense a little bit of rest, let them settle down over there. So all in all, to me, that's a good drive.
So out now come the Lions. They had that lead, looked pretty comfortable in the first half, maybe got a little bit overconfident because that's gone now.
Almost takes us back to being kids, doesn't it? Because I know at some point your dad did the exact same thing mine did. It's okay to be confident, son, but overconfident, that's not a good thing. And that's maybe what we saw here. They thought they had this thing in hand, had full control, and guess what? They got to find a way to get back to where they were before.
You think Papa Davis and Papa Godin would get along?
I think they get along just fine. And you know something? They'd still be giving us advice.
Absolutely. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Back now at Soldier Field.
Here we go.
Again, it's Johnson. And he only manages a couple here down to about the 38-yard line.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading the play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. And the pressure gets to him and brings him down. Stafford is sacked. Akeem Hicks in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year. Here's Sam Martin now. He's been terrific so far. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Oh, he's going to go ahead and field it from the 3-yard line. Muscles him off. Well, that looked for a second like he might take it all the way, but as it stands, it's still a massive return. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. They'll start things on first with Torrey Cohen. And some space here. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. This drive starting off on the right foot, 18 yards.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there. And on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously. But at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
4 yards on the pickup, and it's a 2nd down.
And a nice gain and a broken tackle along the way. And really, we shouldn't be surprised, should we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Now they try the right side here. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And he'll get this one down to about the 17. Marcus Gilchrist there to bring him down.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Now Trubisky to throw on 2nd. And this is Gabriel on the catch. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. Trubisky to Gabriel there for a Bears 1st down. Defensively, they're okay with that. Short little route, tackle him inbounds. Okay.
All right, cliche alert. It's time for someone to make a play because they've got to have something bigger downfield. They can't just take what they give them. They've got to force it and make something big happen.
And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Jared Davis. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at the 20. After the interception, here's Stafford. He's going to loft one deep left side here. It's caught inside the 25. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. A big play there for Detroit. 75 yards. Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown. And that's what they're gunning for on 1st and goal. They'll run Anderson. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. C.J. Anderson, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Lions have taken the lead here in the 4th quarter. Extra point good by Prater. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Here's Prater now set to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And now the Bears coming out as they get ready. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we've got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you've got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it? A gain of 32 that time.
Now that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place, but what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
Looking to throw Trubisky on first down. Wide open receiver complete. Trubisky hitting Robinson for a big one. 41 yards.
That was a nice pickup, some chunk yardage there. Some of those big yards downfield with a little bit of rack thrown in there, a little run after catch. And it came on a crossing route. I could just hear one of my friends who won 4 Super Bowls as a quarterback always said the same thing. What route does a defense hate? Crossing route. Hate it, hate it, hate it, because it's hard to change direction when they get going full speed in the other way.
They get it to him running left. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. Back at the 5-yard line now, second and goal. Here's Trubisky to throw. He's going to dump that off to his running back, Cohen. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 6. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to bring up an interesting third and goal. Now Trubisky to throw. And the Chicago Bears are in the end zone.
That was not a designed run. It was supposed to be a pass, but it turned into an exceptional run. What a scramble for a touchdown.
The point after is good, and that gives them a 3-point lead. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Now Amendola. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Now the Lions offense, they get ready to head back out there. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Throwing deep for Galladay. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by Prince Amukamara. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
Hey, gotta go, gotta go.
They begin the drive on the ground with Cohen. And he roams across the 20 to the 24-yard line. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. And they'll run it here. And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. So 2nd and 9, and you'd have to figure just about all 11 probably crashing the line here. Oh, Trubisky going to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. And we're going to get another timeout called by the Lions as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
Hey, gotta go, gotta go. Hey, gotta go, gotta go. 18.
Throwing now is Trubisky. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. Charles, you'd said the magic number was probably right around 20 for this defense because they're facing one of the top 5 offenses in the league in terms of points scored. They've had their moments, but this offense just a little too good, isn't it?
They really are, because no matter what you do to make an adjustment on defense, they've had an answer for it.
That'll go as a punt of 34 yards that time, and the Lions will take over. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves them with a 2nd and 3. They go to Johnson again. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that is caught one-handed. Oh, my, he pulled it in. Touchdown, Detroit. A big play there in the final minute. And the Lions have taken the lead here in the 4th quarter. Here's Prater now set to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. A beautiful fake. Cordero Patterson. And he's going to take it all the way into the end zone. What a return, and they've taken the lead.
Wow, I know it's a never-say-never situation, but to me, that looks like that's the one that's going to finish them off.
A score that puts them in front here late, but now you got to rally your kick team, don't you, and say the last thing we need is a big return.
And what happens is guys get overeager, get out of their lane because they're so excited they want to make the last tackle. You mess up, could come back at you a long way.
Spins past it. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And he will be marked down right there at the 20-yard line. So here come the Lions now. They only need a field goal. Obviously, the clock a huge factor. They'll be watching that. What do they need to do here, Charles?
Your sequence of plays has to get you out of bounds. Completions, get out of bounds, gain some yardage. Then when the clock hits 7 seconds or left, now you've got a decision. Are you in field goal range, or is it Hail Mary time? Because from 7 seconds down, you don't want to take a shot that you're going to have another play.
We'll see how they handle it. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
He's going to let it fly. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. And that one results in 35 yards. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. He's back to throw. He goes underneath for Anderson. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets it down to the 30 there. It's an 8-yard pickup, and it'll bring up a 2nd down.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
Now a desperation throw deep downfield, and that is incomplete, stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go. Maybe some temptation here to try to go for the win, but I think you got to kick the field goal.
I agree totally. When you look at the time left on the clock, that's not a spot where you take the gamble. Go ahead and kick the field goal here and take it from there.
So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. This to potentially send us to overtime. And the 11-year veteran bangs it through, and they will tie this game here in the final seconds. So a money kick there in the final seconds, and now, barring any hijinks on the kickoff here, partner, I think you and we're going to settle in for a little overtime.
And I wouldn't have it any other way. This has been a dogfight all through regulation. No reason to think it won't continue in the extra period.
And here in overtime, if the team that receives the ball scores a touchdown, it's over. If they don't, we can still have some more football.
That's exactly right. If they go down and kick a field goal, the other team gets a possession to either match it or...
So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So the Lions offense ready to go back out onto the field. They're set for their first drive here in overtime, and this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team, and that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
It's been loud in here so far. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. First throw in overtime for Stafford. A dump off to Anderson. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. It'll be a gain of 4, and it'll be 3rd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They've become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
From the gun on 3rd down, Stafford. He's going to loft one deep left side here. This is caught inside the 15. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. So often in overtime, Charles, games are won or lost on one big play. That might have been that big play right there.
And the ability to execute it despite the stakes, because let's face it, we've been there before. We've seen guys, maybe they hyperventilate a little bit when it's their opportunity. Not in this situation. They executed it calmly, and they've really got it done.
And now they're set up in prime position. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
Run. Here we go. We got three down. Hey, fellas, we got 3. Let's go.
They come out here in the eye. And Stafford's going to take it himself. And he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown. Partner, a great game that we got to see and making it extra special. Not only did I get 4 quarters with you in this one, I got some overtime, a little whipped cream on top.
Look at you, trying to make this whole thing palatable.
I just want you to pay for my meal later.
You really just wanted 4 quarters, what you want.
We want back ends. Wipe my sins. They can't win. No new friends. Football fans. They sleep again. We wake them up. The champs is in. We want back ends. Wipe my sins. Wipe it. They can't win. No new friends. Football fans. They sleep again. We wake them up. The champs is in. Yeah. Wake up, the cake up, raise up, or make us do something we don't want to. Bite down on you, right now on you. Juke to the left, they dodging it. Can't play the role, you fraudulent. Waiting on the right for the stars in it. 4x4 double parking it. Wanna play like cars in it. Wear the right flag, they forfeiting it. Now I got a ring too gorgeous. Damn, I gotta treat it like forges. It sound like I wanna scratch it. Try to take the ring, I'ma tackle you. I guess I'm a Super Bowl bachelor. Go hard in the gym, no cameras. I think I see blood, no Dracula.